This episode will be dedicated to the alternative shoegaze band from Brisbane, Australia, known as Blue Diner. And if you'd like to hear more, please stick around. This is All Gas, No Trash. My name's Adam, and welcome back to the program, and welcome to a brand new episode. All right, so I have been holding off on making this episode, but I don't think I can hold it off any longer because of the fact that we made an episode about Lucky just last week, which kind of ties into this episode with, it's kind of like a spiritual successor, so to speak. So let's go ahead and talk about Blue Diner, a band from Brisbane, Australia, which is, something of an uncommon city for me personally to find music from, at least from Australia. So typically I hear from bands that are located in Sydney and Melbourne, but more recently I've heard stuff from Adelaide and also a little bit more from Brisbane, but it is nice to see that there are more cities that feature music in different parts in Australia. So anyways, let's go ahead and get to the intro for the band itself. As you'd imagine, there's not a ton of information available about Blue Diner, but I'll go ahead and share what I've been able to find. For starters, the group is comprised of Rosa Chen, Jaron Abraham, Jack Lestone, and Tim Johnson. And it appears that they already have management. Somebody named Tim from Headroom Management is already taking care of Blue Diner. And two of the singles that they have released previously, both Mezzanine and Trucks, has been featured with Triple J in one capacity or another, both Triple J and Triple J Unearthed, which I believe was featured on a program called Home and Hose with Annika Luna. And one other thing I've been able to find is that their debut album, at least to my knowledge, is being released on May 1st. It is called Disc 2 for anybody that is keen to check that out. And once again, the genre of music that they play is called alternative shoegaze. So for anybody that is a fan, or at least in my estimation, this is my opinion, but if you enjoy Lucky and bubble tea and cigarettes and also Biba Doobie and you kind of mash that together, I think that's what you have with Blue Diner. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the first track. And if you have listened to us previously, we can't actually play music on the program, so we leave the links available in the description of the podcast episode in addition to the video version available on YouTube for you to reference at your own leisure. In addition to that, we'll also have it as one of the end cards, the song that we're going to be, or the music that we're going to be checking out. We'll also have it as the end cards for this episode on YouTube. So whatever way you want to listen, we'll have it available to you. And let's go ahead and check out the track that introduced me to Blue Diner, and it's a song called Mezzanine. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like it a lot. Let's go ahead and listen to it. Mezzanine from Blue Diner, going in. Welcome back. That was Blue Diner with their track called Mezzanine. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. So this was the introductory track that got me into Blue Diner and kind of opened me to their world. And at this moment, it's still currently my favorite track from them. I'm sure that'll change with the debut album on the way, Disc 2, coming out May 1st. As far as what I love about the track is the juxtaposition between the softer vocals and the rhythm guitar having this heavy distortion. But there's also this lead guitar that has a little bit of a clearer tone with a little bit of like reverb. And I don't know what else is done to it, but I love that it cuts through along with the vocals. So, it's just a really stellar track that I like from Blue Diner. And as I was saying before, if you're a fan of Biba Doobie, Lucky, who has also gotten a little bit of attention herself, and if you didn't know already, Blue Diner is actually going on tour with Lucky. So, if I were from Australia and I had, some free time, I'd definitely be checking out this debut EP tour from Lucky that also features Blue Diner. So there should be dates available on Lucky's Instagram account, so you can go to that if you have some free time and want to check out both bands, because I think that's a stellar bill to have both these bands featured. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, so I think Blue Diner is one of the more interesting groups in the shoegaze space from Australia, and I thought we had to feature them. So let's go ahead into something a little bit newer from Blue Diner, a song called Trucks, which is featured on their debut album called Disc 2. So, as I stated previously, if you want to check these songs out, go ahead and click the links that are available in the podcast episode description and also the video version on YouTube to listen to the music along with us. We're not able to play it directly on the podcast episode itself, because then we get into issues about copyright and, licensing music and all that stuff. But anyways, we'll also have it available as end cards at the end of the episode for you to check out at your own leisure. So we're going to go ahead and check out Trucks from Blue Diner going in. Welcome back. That was Blue Diner with their song called Trucks. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. As previously stated, Trucks is available on their upcoming debut album called Disc 2 that is coming out May 1st if you want to check that out. In terms of tempo of the song, I'd say it reminds me of Lady Beetle from Lucky, or even She Plays Bass from Biba Doobie if you're a fan of either artist. And, the softer vocals to me are somewhat reminiscent of a group like Bubble Tea and Cigarettes. If anybody has checked out that band, it is not quite the same type of music as Blue Diner, but it definitely has comparable vocals. But just another stellar track from Blue Diner. And what I enjoy about them is how they really give space to build up anticipation for their choruses that are quite explosive. And whatever the tone is on the lead guitar is like very fucking beautiful. And it almost sounds like it's post-punkish. And, maybe I'm wrong in describing it that way, but that's like something that a tone that you might hear from like a Cure song, but that's just, that's my own perspective. But nonetheless, another stellar track from Blue Diner that hopefully introduces you to their music, and hopefully you end up following them and buying their music, going to their shows in Australia. As previously stated, they are going on tour for Lucky's debut EP tour. And there are 4 or 5 dates that if you want to go back and check what those dates are, I do have them, or do mention them in the Lucky episode. There's a whole segment just dedicated to that. I don't want to do it on this episode because I don't want to pull it up on my phone, pause the episode so I can look it up. But if you want to look up those dates, you can go ahead and do that on your own time. But anyways, that's going to end the episode for today. And as I stated before, the debut album is coming out May 1st for Blue Diner, their debut album called Disc 2. Check it out when it does come out, and that'll be it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all next time. Actually, there is one more thing to mention before we end this episode. Blue Diner has had their music video for Trucks featured on Rage, the program, which is something akin to MTV, where there's a number of music videos that are featured on this program. So it is rather cool to see one of their music videos being featured on something that would, I guess, be considered like the equivalent of MTV in Australia. So I just had to include that real quick tidbit, and hopefully that continues with more music and more music videos to be shared from Blue Diner. With that said, let's go ahead and end the episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you all next time.